Welcome back to the Train Effective Podcast, everybody. I'm Hashir. Today I have Tushar with us, Tushar Talani. Guys, if you don't know who Tushar is a legend, but I don't usually tell him that because then he's going to get complacent. So I tell him he's a legend in the making, but he hasn't earned legend status yet. So Tushar, welcome back, man. How are you, bro?
Thank you. I'm doing really well. Glad to be back on the podcast. Second time on here. Really enjoyed the first time. So, yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, I want to get right into it, man. I'm trying to get right into it. And for everybody on YouTube, hit subscribe, like, give us that love, and give my new microphone love and the Real Madrid background love. So listen, it's July. It's towards the end of July, early August. Teams are in preseason. I know teams are playing everywhere. I know clubs are in preseason for whichever team you might play. Whoever's listening, your team might be in preseason. We want to give you guys some big value, big tips right now to dominate preseason. And for some of you, preseason might have already started. For some of you, you might not have started preseason yet. Today, I want to really address the importance of having a good preseason and being prepared even for preseason. Because Tushar, you might agree with me. Like my thing has always been like day one of preseason, you need to be the most fit, right?
Of
Like
course,
you need to be the most fit on day one, and there's reasons for that. And you told me some good ones, so let me hear those reasons.
so I mean, first of all, yeah, preseason, like when preseason starts, you're going to be doing tons of like tests, fitness stuff. I mean, and obviously you want to be the fittest player. Just so make sure you're ready for the season. You're not going to get injured in preseason training because usually like preseason training is probably the hardest like training you're going to do throughout the year. So just to be ready for that, you're fit, you're looking sharp. Like the coaches know, okay, yeah, he didn't just fool around in the off season. Like he's ready to come back, he's ready to play, and yeah, it just gives a good impact on the coach. Like he came back prepared. Like he wasn't just fooling around in off season. He probably trained quite a bit. He's ready.
Be honest with me. Have you ever had a have you ever had a like your own like a preseason where you showed up and you were like really far behind other players?
To be honest, like usually, like I was usually always fit. Maybe there might have been like one or two seasons where like I was just in the average, but never like far beyond. Because even if I wasn't doing tons of fitness during the summer, I was always training. So just training as a general. If you're just training technique or you're playing pickup games, your fitness is just it's still there. Obviously, it's not gonna be the best, but it's still there. So that's like one thing I would just give it advice. Like if you're in the off season, like play as much pickup as you can because like obviously there might not be official games going on, so just to keep that game match fitness, because like there's a difference between just doing running and actually playing and passing, you're shooting, you're dribbling. So I would say get a good mixture of strength training in the gym, running, interval training, and obviously pickup. And I think those three things, like you'll be a fit player when you come back.
Yeah, I agree. I'm big on the interval training. I think it's a great way to train fitness. Whether
Of
it's like
course, yeah.
treadmill, yeah, treadmill. My big thing, and I got this from man. It was some damn like it wasn't even a PE teacher. It was like the like in America when you play in high school, your coach is usually like your freaking like math teacher or something.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And mine, I'm a man. Why not? His name was Mr. Lear, math teacher. I sucked at math, but I liked playing footy, soccer. And I asked him about preseason. I asked him about like fitness because he ran in the Boston Marathon, which is a huge like marathon in America.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, he must know something about fitness. And I've always been like a sponge. Like I want as much information as I can get from people that know more than me. And I try and give information as well. But I asked him, and he was like, a real simple way to do like fitness training, interval training is go out at like 5 a.m. Telling like a 15-year-old to go out at 5 a.m. is crazy. But
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. He said, go out at 5 a.m., go run on the street, like actual streets, not highway, but the street. From one lamppost to the next one, sprint. From the next one to the next one, go at a slower pace. do that like 10, 20, 30 rounds. You'll build your fitness, and it's match like, because
Yeah.
always like running long distances and
It's
miles.
not the most materialistic, of course. Yeah, like just
Exactly.
intervals, like interval training, jogging, running, sprinting. I mean, that's what I like did a lot in the off season. Like I would always go just around my neighborhood and like down the street. Like I would usually do like a couple miles of just interval training, like at different paces. Just to build that like materialistic fitness. Because if you're just going for a long jog, you're not really getting that like in a match. You're not really just jogging. Like a good jog is basically good for recovery, but
Yeah.
like if you're going on like interval training, you're kind of focusing on what you would actually do in a match. So that's the best thing. And another thing for fitness is always for me, because like I'm a technical player, so obviously like when you're training like technique and you're doing technical sessions, I would just say like keep it intense. Like if you're in the off season, like keep your trainings more intense, because obviously you're not training with the team, so try to train more and try to train harder, and obviously like just play as many games as you can with friends, 2v2, 1v1s, like just go out for hours, and like that's just the best way to keep sharp with your technique, and also like keep your fitness.
Yeah, 100%. And you you said for hours, and I just want to like I just want to switch over a different topic really quick. You are someone I've like known for a while.
Yeah,
For everybody that doesn't know, I met Tushar in 2019, summer of 2019 in London at a
summer
camp,
2019.
like
Yeah,
and that was one of the best months of my life. Shout out everyone I met at that camp, and just everyone. It was amazing. And one thing I've seen with you like over the years is you're absolutely obsessed.
yeah,
Like, you are obsessed. Like, and I always say, like I've said in past podcasts as well, like to really excel at something, that thing that you want to excel at needs to be like your thing. You need to own it. You need to
it
put
has to be like your only thing. Like it has to be that thing. Like
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. And I've seen you, man, guys. Y'all gotta follow Tushar on Instagram. This guy's out here juggling like tennis balls. He's juggling all sorts of stuff. I told him that next he needs to juggle car keys, and we'll see if he follows through with that. He probably will. Then I'm gonna look like an idiot, but it's okay because we're all growing in it. But I've seen you. You're obsessed now. Tell me this, like you probably obviously I know you train a lot,
yeah,
but
of course.
you do you like do you and I know it's an interesting topic. Do you take breaks, like in terms, like do you take a few days off? Because I know you take a rest day every now, like because you need to, but like do
Yeah,
you
of
take
course.
multiple days off? Like how do
Um,
you manage that?
to be honest, like usually, like obviously, I'll take a rest day every like I don't know every 6 or 7 days, maybe. Like maybe one Sunday, I'll be like, all right, let me just rest. But even when I'm resting, I'm still watching games, still analyzing games. Like this, like what I say is like even on your rest day, you can do things like if you really want to get better and you're really obsessed, if your body's tired, you can still do many other things. Like you can work on your mobility, you can work on your core, you can analyze games. Like there's so many things you can do. So like even in the off season, if you're like going all out 6 days a week, you're training technique, you're playing pickup matches, you're doing interval training, doing strength training in the gym. Like even on that Sunday when you're resting, like this you can just focus on your flexibility, or like there's something you can do just to like prepare you for that next week. And obviously just like like for me especially, I always tell everyone, they always like, how do you train so much in the off season? Because like in the off season, I guess people have like less motivation because they're not training with the team, nobody's really pushing them. So like I just tell people like, just like for me it doesn't seem like work. Like it's just I'm just obsessed with like training. So like it seems more like fun and play, but at the same time I'm training pretty hard. So it's benefiting my mind and body like at the same time. So
That's so
so
healthy.
yeah.
Like that, I mean, long term, like it always seems to me like the people that really go really far in football with their careers and all this and that, like they just flat out like love it so much, like
Yeah.
just love it so much,
Yeah, it's just like
and
nothing else. Like that's all we have. Like
exactly.
yeah.
And I see that in you. That's why I'd be sending you them voice messages about like I'm always keeping you in check because I'm like, bro, like you
Yeah,
can
make
do
yeah, yeah,
you know. So yeah, I love that. Now, tell me this though, because different ages, different ages require different things.
yeah, of course.
How has your like where you are now? You're gonna turn 18 in January, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Has your fitness training, has your preseason training, what was it like when you were 15 when I met you? Or
yeah.
like 15 or whatever you, however old you were. Yeah, I think 15, 14, something like that. How was it back then versus compared to now?
I mean, to be honest, like when I was like 14, 15, 16, I was doing a bit more running, a bit more interval training, things of that sort. And now, like, I've kind of like reached a point of fitness where I'm just training so much, like, that fitness is just there for me. Like,
Hmm.
it's like, even though, like, obviously, I'll definitely I'm definitely running, I'm definitely in the gym, strength training, focusing on like injury prevention, but like
Yeah.
that fitness is just kind of there for me. And technical sessions, the intensity has just risen over the years. So like obviously like that fitness is there, and I always play a lot of pickup like as much as I can, because I feel like pickup games and like just 1v1s and 2v2s are the best way to stay sharp and just like gain that creativity that like a team training, like mimic like a team training. So I think now, like in the off season, I'm more into that and more into a bit of more strength training. Where as like a younger kid, I couldn't do as much. Like now in this off season, I really focus on like calisthenics, like body weight stuff, injury prevention, just to get ready for the season. And everybody has their own type of training in the gym as well. That's another topic. Like some people might prefer weight training, some people might prefer body weight training, some people might prefer, doing more upper body. Like everybody's different in the gym, as an athlete. And like what I say to athletes, especially in the off season, is like focus on like what you think you need, and what you're already good at. Just do more of that to keep even more sharp.
Yeah.
So for me, like last season, I kind of found out that like the best type of training for me in the gym was body weight and calisthenics. Like it was just making me move faster on the pitch. I was getting more agile. So that's what I really focused on this off season. And then technique wise, like just train as much as you can with the ball in the off season. I mean, like just stay sharp, get even better. Like just surprise people when you come back. Like that's just the best thing to do. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
I, I'm about to ask some little. I don't know if it's controversial, but I see this often sometimes.
yeah.
You mentioned calisthenics, like, and some people might not know what that is. Actually, do you want to explain what that is really quick?
Yeah, so calisthenics is more like using your body weight to strength train or fitness train. So you're doing things like, pull ups, push ups, different core exercises, maybe different types of push ups like clap push ups or diamond push ups or chin ups, different types. You can use resistance bands sometimes, or like, I don't know if you know, like the TRX bands, like the rows. Yeah. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
TRX bands. So stuff that you're using your own body weight to pull yourself or push yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. And the reason I bring that up is because I think there's a trend nowadays, Tushar, and
Yeah.
sometimes like I like to talk about these things, like I like to engage in this conversation, but I don't know, I'm a little wary about it because like the other day, I was in what's it called? Discord, our Discord, the Train Effective Discord. And if you haven't joined the
Yeah.
Train Effective Discord, get in there. It's popping. It's down below in the links. Anyways, we were just talking about like training like your vision and awareness in the
Yeah.
future, like when they have like virtual reality.
Virtual. Yeah.
And I was like, man, like I wonder if this can be a thing and this and that. And I was just talking to some people in there, and it was a good conversation, and I appreciate it. But I do think about this specific thing sometimes, and I don't always say this. I feel like nowadays, it's like so many people have gotten away from like the proven ways to like get better at something. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if for me, like it was like if I wanted to improve my like one touch passes,
It's just like wall training, like all day. Yeah.
I'm gonna go and do lots of one touch passes.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
if I wanted to improve my first touch, I'm going in, I would go to the gym. I would do two things. I would also obviously go out, do wall training, like at my local elementary school. I never got kicked out because the cops there knew me, and they were just like, and the custodians, the people in the school that would be like cleaning after hours, they knew me, and so they would see me, but they wouldn't say anything because like they know I just go there to train. I'm fine. But the other place I would go is the gym, LA Fitness. I'd go on the racquetball court.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that so many times. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I'm smashing the ball off the wall, turning, doing all these types of things. And I didn't start doing this until like later, like when I turned probably around age 20 or so. I wish I discovered it earlier. But I would do these things. So I would identify what I need to improve, and I'd just go and find the simplest way to improve it and the most straightforward, like proven way to improve it because it makes sense. But nowadays, I see this trend where it's like, oh, like, how do I like I feel like people want to know some like advanced way to like improve their one touch passing. And I'm like, guys, like girls, like it's simple. You just have to do it a lot, do it often, and do it correctly. And then once you're doing it correctly, challenge yourself to do it quicker and quicker and quicker, and focus on the details. Because at first, your 50 first one-touch passes, against the wall. Maybe like 30 of them are, I guess you can say, quote unquote, perfect. Then, I mean, you keep training it. Then 35 of them are perfect. Then 40 are perfect. And then you're at like 45. But now you're like, okay, no, I'm going to move the two cones then that I'm trying to pass in between narrower. And I want to make sure every pass is solid on the ground. No bounces, nothing.
Yeah.
And then you got to be able to do 50 reps of those consistently without messing up. So that's how like improvement happens. And that's what I want to like emphasize. Like I see a lot of people, like I feel like some people think that you always need to be innovative in training.
Yeah.
Like you always need to think of like some new Gen Z or millennial way of training.
I mean, on Instagram nowadays, you see like these crazy drills like going on, and like different private trainers like doing these crazy like long like drills like go on, like you do this and you do that, and like I mean, for me, to be honest, like I've trained so much like individually, like I've been training so much individually for the past like many years, and I think the best way just to improve is like create a goal for yourself and like a plan that you can work with. Obviously, like you'll see things online, and Train Effective is obviously, if you need individual training drills, obviously Train Effective is the best, like great drills. Yeah. And like, I mean, I think for the best thing that worked for me was like doing things on my own, and also like using other things like Train Effective and combining it. And I would just found out like there's so many ways you can improve, and like you don't have to get like too advanced with it. I mean, just like if you want to improve, if you're a center midfielder and you want to improve turning and like taking space, just find a rebounder wall, like pass, do a couple touches, scan, turn, and like do a 1v1 or something like that. Like you just need a couple cones, a ball, and like a wall, you know, like just get creative with it and try to like mimic like match situations the best you can. Like if you're a winger, like let's say you're a left winger, like just focus on like hitting the ball against the wall in the air, controlling it, and taking on a 1v1, like simple stuff like that. And then you can obviously break it down, like break down your first touch, just focus on your first touch, or break down your 1v1s, like how smooth can you get on the 1v1? Are you both footed? Can you dribble inside and outside? Like practice your cuts. Like can you cut inside and shoot? Can you cut outside and shoot? Like so like that's the main thing that's worked for me, just like repetition. And then I've seen over the years, like I've gotten so smooth at some of the things. Like you might know like my footwork and like my skill moves. Like you know how like it's been so, like you probably saw me the first time in London. Like I had good technique, but now it's just like on a different level. Like it's just gotten so much like cleaner. Like you get to a point where like you've mastered the move, but like can you do it like swiftly? Can you do it like nicely? You know what I mean? Like there's like training just makes that like, and a lot of people have come up to me and they're like, you're doing the same thing over and over again. Like how are you gonna get better? And I'm like, well, you can look over the years. Like look at that. Like 3 years ago, I was doing the same training, and I've made it harder for myself, and now I'm a much better player. Like
two things actually on that, and I love what you said, that there's not always one like exact way. Like I always tell people, okay, yeah, Train Effective app. We all know like it's amazing. Lots of drills, exercises, workouts. Great. Yeah, like use it. I used it. But you know what else I did? I used the app, but you know what else I did? I was creative. So for some things, I didn't use the app.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
one thing, like for example, passing and receiving and turning and stuff in the little racquetball court or squash court, whatever you want to call it, passing and receiving in the courtyard at the elementary school, where I would pass it against the wall and I'd set some cone up over there so I could like I'd pass it, I'd scan and actually see the cone, not just like mindlessly.
Yeah.
And I'd turn and then I'd pass it over there. Like, because people ask me, like, how did I learn to play football, soccer so fast? It's because I was doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
I had to play catch up. I only started when I was like 15. So that was my thing. And it doesn't always have to be just one way. Like there isn't no there like you can use the Train Effective app. It's gonna help you a lot, but you can also like everyone watching this is smart, man, like intelligent. I'm gonna like beat that home really quick. Bro, you guys know what your weaknesses are. You guys know what you need to improve.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm talking to the if you're listening right now, which you obviously are, think to yourself and just think to yourself, what are you not good at? And something probably just popped into your head. Now there's whatever that thing is, there's proven ways to improve it. And it might not be super fancy. You know, the thing you said about the trainers and everything on Instagram is, bro, I'm not gonna lie, those videos and stuff, they look so cool. They look so good. Like it's like I'm like the camera angle is like low, like by the agility ladder, and you're like following the player going in and out.
And the players paying like $100 for a session.
Yeah, and like I'm not gonna get into the finances of it because like whatever the player wants to pay or the trainer wants to charge, that's all them. But my thing is like, hey, I mean, if you pay $100 for a few sessions or 1,000 sessions, but then you play professionally, I mean, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah, maybe it's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not one to judge about all that, but point is like you can improve by yourself. You are like the living testimony, walking testimony of that. Because I've seen you, man. I saw some. I'm about to like shed some light right now. I remember you trained in your basement.
Yeah,
like,
I've been training my basement for like 6 years.
You'd be like breaking the wall and crap, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then I think I've seen recently in one of your Instagram stories, it's like a new wall there. I'm like, oh my god, look what this man did. So like I've seen you like you said, you do the same things, but in any area of life, if you think about it, bro, like those people that are really successful, they've
done the same thing.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals. If you like, people are so like focused on, I need to improve my shooting into the top corner off a half turn. And I'm just like, bro, like receiving the ball, passing the ball, if you can like master those two and dribbling, those three, like those are three fundamentals. If you can think about it, if you can master those three, you're kind of like Sergio Busquets, who people see like this is a big one. People, because I know a lot of y'all play FIFA. Yeah, I know everyone on here be playing FIFA, man.
People think he's like a bad player because he's slow or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Tushar, this guy is like always like 88, 89, 87, 6 rated. He's always been high rated. His pace, speed is like 48.
48,
His like defending is like 70 something, all this stuff. But what people don't understand is like Sergio Busquets, like he has absolutely mastered like first touch
and like receiving and like scanning and
awareness and all that stuff. That's why he can be so like quote unquote immobile, not move that much, and be so effective. Because
I mean, it's crazy. Like Barcelona just played Inter Miami like 2 days ago, and like Busquets was like up against like these fit American players, like jacked, and like Busquets on one of them just like gets the ball, like fakes him, the guy flies away. Then something I've never seen before, Busquets throws like 3 step overs, and the guy just like he just gets destroyed. Like Busquets took out 2 people. It's like and like the guy was like jogging while he did it.
Yeah,
Like it
Man,
looks like if he really tried, like he could be like no one can stop him. It looks
yeah,
like it
yeah,
looks like that.
it, it looks effortless, and that's the
Yeah,
thing that I always preach to everybody. um like great basketball coaches in the past, I know we're talking about footy soccer, but great basketball coaches in the past, they've always like big on fundamentals,
fundamentals. Yeah,
like
muscle
John
memory.
it
Yeah,
was, but they're just like these fundamentals, man. Like every day, like think about when you see on TV, man. Think about what we see on TV. Like 90% of the match, passing, receiving,
receiving.
dribbling
Yeah,
in like
first touch.
tight
Yeah,
spaces, all this stuff. Just master those. And I'm not gonna say I was a victim of something else when I played, which is a whole another thing, which is mentality. Because as athletes, man, like Tushar, you like everyone, like you have the whole technical side of the game, which is like so important, but the
yeah.
mental
Mental
side,
side is like almost equally as important nowadays. Yeah,
because if you have everything technically, but like a
just
simple
mentally
thing,
not there. Yeah,
if you don't believe that you're good, you're
yeah.
gonna be
Yeah, I mean,
in
confidence is like the best
useless.
thing, and also honestly, like in as well, like into like talking about preseason, like I would say like just just like boost your ego when you go in preseason. Like know like all
Ooh,
like just know like if you're a person, obviously like if you have trained a lot and you know you're fit, like get into that state of mind. Like yo, like I just worked so hard. Like I'm ready. I'm gonna show these guys like I'm ready for the season. I'm gonna earn my starting spot. But then also he comes the person where like they didn't train at all, they went on vacations and they still think they're good, and then like preseason comes around, they're just like lagging behind. So
mm,
obviously like there's a player like if you really trained, you've worked hard, you set some goals for yourself, you've improved, you stayed sharp, like boost your ego a bit. I mean like that's gonna help you like show that confidence, like shows the coach like okay yeah he wants it, like he knows he's capable of like playing in this starting 11 or this team for this year.
yeah, yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's
Yeah,
not a bad thing to believe in yourself, and like believe in yourself and believe in your abilities, and even internally say like, I'm better than that dude. I'm better than that. Like obviously stay humble and
yeah,
don't
of course, yeah,
respect your like opponents or your teammates and all this stuff, but you do have to believe in yourself, guy. Like I always preach, like, bro, self-belief is absolutely everything.
yeah, it
Like
is.
what is that quote? Your attitude determines your altitude.
Something
Like
like that. Yeah, yeah,
it's like so true. And that's why I'm so big, man, on what train effective and everything, like preaching like mentality, because I always like it's just I think we're still kind of early, and I mean we're kind of early with the whole mental side of the game, and like confidence and believing in
yeah.
yourself and visualization, all this stuff, which is really important. We're still early, but I think we can educate more people on it. That's huge, because it holds a lot of people back, and even worse, like it can harm people if they don't take care of it.
Of course. Like I think confidence is a huge thing, and like you know me, like I'm like a very technical and skillful player, and like some matches I'll be playing, and like my teammates are like yo, what's going on? Like you should be like going through these players like 3 4 players at a time. Like what's going on here? Like it's just confidence. Like because I know I have the skill. Like I'm training every day, so there's no way I'm not sharp or I'm not fit. I know I have the skill. It's just like what's happening, you know. And a lot of players go through that. Like they're technically good, they're physically like quick, but like they sometimes the confidence is just not there, and like that change your game like from 101% to like 70%. So it makes a big difference. And like and for me, like the best thing in off season and what I've noticed these past like 2 years is I'll say it again, like just play as much matches as you can. Like obviously because there's no like league matches going on, just play, get a good group of people at the field, or get some players who are obviously better than you. It's obviously better if you play with them, and just like try everything. Like do everything you can. Like for me, like I just be doing like flicks and like step overs, and like you've seen my Instagram stories,
Yep.
like the type of skills I'm doing. So like I just do that, like, and I get to the point where I'm doing it like without thinking, and that's the best for me. That's like the best. Like just do things without thinking, playing without thinking. For me, like I'm the happiest there, and I can see I play the best there. So then
Yeah.
when you get into the season, it's just like, yo, I'm ready. Like I know what I can do.
Yeah. And that's if y'all want to know a big way to build up confidence, if you can do your, I mean, let's take for example, like one v ones, one on ones with like not a goalkeeper, like a defender. If
Yeah,
you can do that skill that you've been training, if you can do it over and over and like pick up games with players that are better than you or equal level or ideally better than you, if you can do it there, you're gonna be much more confident in a game when it comes time and it's fast. You know,
it's
you're
just
not
quick.
gonna
It's instinct. Yeah, you're not thinking about it. Yeah,
exactly. So you want to get used to doing these things and in your own training and like when you're training alone and then in pickup games or I mean, I always say like this is if you really want to build your confidence like at a really early level and like for example one-on-ones, if you really want to build that confidence one-on-ones early level, you're too scared to go out with your friends, take your younger brother or take your sister or older brother or whoever, take your dad, take your mom, take them to the front yard or the backyard and be like, mom, get the ball for me, or like, hey
yeah,
bro, get the ball for me. Just do that skill move on them. You're gonna get a little hit of confidence. You're gonna be like, oh crap, like I can actually do this against another person. Yeah, they're not a footballer, they're not a player, but mentally it does
mentally, it's
wonders for
getting
you
you there. Yeah, of course.
because you have a reference experience, they call it. And obviously you just that's like super beginner level if you're
Yeah,
even like scared to do skill moves or whatever you're trying to do in pickup games, which
yeah,
guys try stuff, man, and pickup games when you're playing 2v2, 2v3, like 2v4, 4v3, whatever. Try stuff. That's
yeah,
where like when you like you've heard it, you've probably heard Iniesta, he talks about like the importance of playing like on the street, and futsal was like it
yeah. I
was
mean,
so
like
important for him because he said
street and like it's the best. Yeah,
you get to try everything. You're forced to escape like tight situations,
yeah,
and
of course.
it's huge. And I always preach that, especially in America, because here, like, I mean,
Like that futsal culture is not big, or like that, that street culture. And for me, lucky enough, like I've been training in such a small area, like for many many years of my life,
yeah,
in like my basement, a small room, for so many days, like morning, before school, after school, like just training there, like passing, receiving, first touch, tight space dribbling, skill moves, even like freestyle. Like you just get so comfortable with the ball, like being able to maneuver in and out of tight spaces. Like when it comes time, like to play or in a team training or in a match, it's just natural. Like you already know what to do. Like that you know you have that like calmness. Like you know what to do. Like I think that's the main thing. It's just like try to train in an environment where it's gonna like kind of replicate that into a team training or in a game. It's like if you're a winger, like just like sometimes like after like a session, if you're a forward, like let's say you do a good shooting and dribbling session, like after the session, just like literally just stand at one end of the pitch and like start doing step overs and dribbling to all the way to the other end of the pitch. Like just get creative with it. Like that's just the best
yeah,
way to improve. Like for me, like to improve my dribbling, like my dad used to like make me stand at one end of the pitch, and then like he used to throw cones at me and like made me
mhm,
like dribble like around the cones. It's like I
yeah.
can't hit the cone. So like that
Real,
just get
that's real.
creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I love that. I love that. And and again, it's match like,
Yeah. Just like
it,
yeah.
it's like because like it's the same thing. Like you have to quick decisions. That's the big thing. Like training like quick decisions and
Just
making
like
decisions
speed
fast.
of play, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, fundamentals. Train those fundamentals. I've seen this boy train fundamentals for years, and you know what? You're also creative. Like you do your skill moves and all those things, and that's
Yeah.
part of dribbling. So
Yeah.
like it's fundamental, and
And then you
obviously,
obviously develop your own style of play. Like, how do you
yeah,
want to play? For me, like, I like to use sometimes flashy things. Like, I like to do some skill moves. Obviously, not everyone likes it. Like, sometimes you'll have coaches. Like, when I was in, because I played in Spain for like 2 years, one of my coaches, were, like, this past year was like, nah, like, we can't be doing this. Like, in training, he would be making fun of me. Like, look,
yeah,
he thinks he's like the best, like, just dribbling through everyone. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, now that I see it, like, I'm getting opportunities here in America because of that. Like just because of my,
yep,
creativity on the ball and just like my style of play. And like I think your training, like it's just like growing up as a child. Like I like to bring this analogy, like just your environment, like how your parents like parent you and who your friends are, like that's how you're gonna grow up to be. And just like with training, like how you train, where you train, like it's just gonna develop you as a player. Like
Yeah,
those type of things.
that's why I always say like put people around you, like players around you that are ideally better than you,
At
if
least
not
the same level, yeah.
the same level. Because don't disrespect the players that aren't like better than or that are not as good as you. Like try and lift them up, try and help them, be that resource. But you do want to, like. If you're the smartest one in the room, you need to find a new room, like
Of course, yeah. They always
so,
say,
yeah. And damn, hey man, you be dropping a lot of golden knowledge, Tushar. Damn.
I mean, for me, just like I like to just say it because, like, I don't know, it gives me also like kind of a like I know like what's going on and stuff. But
Yeah. And listen, like footy it's your life. Like from what I can see, it's your life.
Of course, that's all it is. Yeah.
Exactly. So like when I hear you talk about it, bro, I can see, I can feel it. I'm like, bro, this thing is like, it's just in your head and mind all day.
Yeah, it's natural. It's natural to talk about it. Like I don't have to think. Yeah, like when I was in school, because like obviously for the past 2 years I've been doing online school. But like when I was in actual school, like I would have to like when the teacher would ask me something, I have to like actually think. When like when I'm talking about like training or like skill moves or like how do you do this type of pass or something, I'm just like saying it like I have to think.
School the teacher's like, Tushar, 10 plus 10, and you're like
let me give me a sec.
but on the pitch, give you a ball, give you 3 defenders.
Like I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna go give a couple step overs. Like,
and hey, I love it. I love it. Hey, bro, listen. Thank you so much, man, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know a lot of people might have questions for you.
Definitely hit me up on Instagram, obviously Tushar_Talani. If you have any questions, football training, gym, whatever it is, obviously there to help you. So anything you have.
Yeah, 100%. And like obviously, I love that you're open to being a resource, guys, as well. Spotify listeners, everyone. If you want to follow Tushar and you didn't get his Instagram when he said it, just click the link in the description. It's there. YouTube, same thing. Just click below. Myself as well. I'm always there. DMs are open all the time. Check in if you need help or if you just need someone to speak to. Like I'm here. Tushar's here. We're here for you, man. And my final kind of thing for the Train Effective fam and anyone who's listening is give yourself credit, but don't let that credit like build complacency.
Of course, yeah.
Because I'm big on giving yourself, like reward your wins, like reward them, but don't get complacent. Everybody's different. Some people they get complacent more easily. Some people it's hard for them to get complacent. Find that balance for you. Find what works for you. Give yourself credit. Give yourself the pat on the back, but don't ever let that be final. Yeah, don't ever let that be like, oh, all right, you made the state team. You're good now. You're the man.
Yeah.
Like, bro, there's 100
so much more.
Dudes, 100 girls behind you, 100 guys behind you that want that spot. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. 100%. Love that. All right. Effective fam, appreciate you all. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening. And as always, stay effective.
Stay effective. Take care.